What did I get from Whatnot this week? Stay tuned. Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and this week we're going to be going over some key comics that I picked up off of Whatnot. Now, these are some great comics that are great for the PC and also great for speculation if you can get them in the high grades once you get them submitted to CGC. But before we begin, what do I always say? Hit that like button, slap the subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell to be notified when I have new episodes that come out each and every week on Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Now, the other thing I want you guys to remember is that I do sell a lot of my comics, and if you're ever interested in any of the books that I show on my videos, I encourage you to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram at Collector Auctions, or just email me at collectorauctions.yahoo. So definitely reach out on any of those platforms. I'm always interested in listening to offers if you're interested in any of these books. Now, let's get into the books. All right, so I only ended up buying a couple books from two different sellers on Whatnot over the last couple weeks. I've slowed down a little bit, trying to be a little bit more selective, but I still try to pick up key comics every now and then when things that pique my interest. So the first book I picked up was from somebody I bought from before off of Whatnot, and usually the books from this seller are always pretty high grade, and he does a great job of describing them on the channel when I watch. And this show goes on about once every week, I believe on Monday nights, but I could be wrong on that. And I'm talking about Sturgis 313 Comics. I hope I got that right, because he used to go by a different name with a different, I think he was working with a different seller at that time. But I ended up picking up this. This is Miracle Man #1. Of course, this made a big splash here over the last year when in one of the Kang Timeless stories, it was revealed that there's a connection with Miracle Man. You saw the logo at the end of the book, and so there was a big tease. This book got hot. The whole Eclipse series got hot. This issue especially, and I want to say issue 14, or is it 15? I can't remember. It was the death of Kid Miracle Man, I believe. But there's definitely some high value in these, and if you can get these at 9/8, they're worth a pretty good penny. Right now, a 9/8 on this runs about $240 on eBay. That was a recent sale just a few days ago here in February. 9/6s really drop off. I've got a 9/6 in the PC, and it dropped off, and you're lucky if it's a $100 book at this point. But I'm hoping that with the inclusion of, I keep wanting to say Marvel Man, Miracle Man in the MCU, that those books will increase in value. So I ended up buying this. I thought it was a pretty decent price, and it's in really good shape. I'm hoping this will press out good. I hope this will be a 9.8 once I'm done with it, once I get into the CGC. But always happy to pick up another copy of Miracle Man. If you guys have never read this, this was Alan Moore at his finest, probably better than Watchmen. I would argue I enjoyed this better than I did his Swamp Thing. So, guys, check it out. If you've never read this, definitely check this out. Great series. Nice to have in a PC. It's also good if you can get those 9/8s. All right, the second seller I ended up buying from is somebody that I've never bought from before off of Whatnot, but I am very familiar with his YouTube channel, and I'm talking about Comic Aussie. He's out of Canada, so I did pay a little bit more for shipping on these books, but these are some really good books. There's one in here I've never had before, and there's one I definitely have bought a couple times trying to keep getting into higher grades. And there's one that is for a personal project that I've talked about countless times in the previous videos. So let's just get into the books here. Let's start off with the book for the personal project. I picked up another copy of X-Men 114. This is the first time that you get the Uncanny with the X-Men. You've got John Byrne, Chris Claremont. Excuse me, I mispronounced that. Chris Claremont. Get it out. Get it out, Russ. This is a really nice copy. I don't know. The one thing I don't remember him describing as much, it was in very nice condition, except it's got a little dog ear up here. It breaks color a little bit, so that's going to be kind of questionable if I can get that in. Even if I can press that out, and we'll see how good I can get on that. I don't think it's going to grade out as well as I would like. So this may be just a raw copy I will keep in the PC for the time being until I can get a better copy that I can get into the CGC. I ended up buying this. This is a book that's really dropped in value, and it's funny considering that we've got Kang movies out right now. Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm. You've got Kang. This is a kind of a key Kang comic in the sense that you've got Nathaniel Richards in the future, Reed Richards' father, the connections with Kang. And this is a book that was hot about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now it's just really dropped, and I paid basically a few bucks for this. This is in really nice shape. Still has some value at a 9.8. 9.8 still go for about $145, but that's really down. Literally just a few days ago it sold for that $145. So you can imagine that this is a book, if I decide to get it graded, it would definitely have to go into a 9.8 pre-screen. A 9.6 at this point will drop well below $100, and I don't want that. So still a good book to have, and still another John Byrne goodness book here. I mean, can't go wrong with John Byrne on a lot of stuff. All right, this book, the third book I ended up picking up, is one that I keep getting, and I keep trying to get in high grades. It is one of my favorite comics from my childhood. It is Captain Marvel number 26. It is the second appearance of Thanos, his first cover appearance. Jim Starlin goodness. I talk about this every time I put this book on the channel. I talk about how much I love this cover and the way he drew the Thing. So I always enjoyed this book, and I keep trying to get high grades on this. I've got a 9.0. I want to say I got one that I bought from Heroes Con a year ago. I got it graded. Came out, I think, as a 9.0. It was a little lower than I had hoped, but I keep trying to get this up in higher grade. I'd love to get these. I don't think I'll ever get the 9.8s on this. 9.8s, I tell you, 9.8s, this is crazy. We'll go for over $4,000. One just sold back in September of last year for that much. 9.4s is what I'm kind of hoping for in this one. This is a really nice shape, but there's a defect I'll talk about in a second. But if I can get this to a 9.4, it's about a $339 value. That will more than triple what I paid for this book. But this book has got a defect that I didn't really see. I don't remember Comic Aussie really talking about it, but it looks like a printer's defect because it's widespread, and it is in the red areas all across this book, in the trade dress, in Captain Marvel's uniform on both top and bottom. And let me see if I can bring it forward. I don't know if this is going to focus or not. Let's see if it will. Can you guys see that pattern that's in the red under the Captain Marvel there? There is a kind of it's not really a speckling or a charcoal. It's some sort of pattern. It's consistent throughout the whole red, and it looks like it was consistent on the red plate or the magenta plant maybe when it was printed. And I don't know how CGC is going to grade that. It's definitely not it's a printer error type thing. It's not on the owner. It's not on me. It's not on whoever owned this comic book. I don't think, because you don't see that defect anyplace else in this book. It's just in the red, and it's so consistent. But the book is really nice, and I think it has a real good chance at that 9.4 regardless of this printer defect. And keep my fingers crossed on that, because that's still pretty good. I'd love to get that up to a 9.4 on my PC. At that point, I would put a hold on it. I don't have to get this book again until I find another one at a really good value. But great book. If you guys read this storyline, issues 26 through 33 of Captain Marvel, Jim Starlin, you've got just great art. You've got the really big first Thanos storyline, Cosmic Cube, The Thing, the Avengers, crossovers, Moondragon, Star Fox. I mean, first appearances left and right, origin stories, some of the best stories. I mean, everybody goes gaga over Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos and everything, but this story was always my favorite. This is my favorite Thanos storyline. Great stuff, guys. Check it out. All right. The last book that I ended up getting from Comic Aussie is one that I've never owned before. I keep keeping my eye out for it. This one I thought I got at a pretty good price. It is a Silver Age goodness here. It is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1. I've never owned this before. And this right here is a book that, boy, if you could get a 9.8 on this is a $33 plus $100 book. One just sold on Heritage Auctions back in June of last year. I'm hoping to get this to at least an 8.5 with a little bit of clean and press. It's got some age to it and some wear. But 8.5 still command $150 value. One sold on Golden Auctions just back in January this year. And that's fine. That is, even that is a lot more than I paid for this book right here. But if you could actually get this up to a 9.4, now 9.4 is, they have more 9.4s on the census for this book than any other book, and that's a $465 value, and that's pretty good. Now I don't think I can get this to a 9.4. That's why I'm putting my goal as an 8.5. That's my sweet spot for Silver Age books. I really like Silver Age books at that grade. If you were buying them raw and you can get them in that, what's considered that very fine range, that's pretty acceptable. Everybody, I think, gets a little snobbish with getting the even higher grades. They got to be near mint. They got to be those 9.6s and 9.4s in Silver Age and 9.0s. And I don't know. I really like the 8.5. I think they really present well, and I think it's a really good value. I think that is a sweet spot where the price hasn't jumped yet, because I've definitely seen this huge jump between an 8.5 and a 9.0. 8.5s are really good in value. And I think long term, I think those will go up in value. So I still think it's a good time to invest in books of that price and hold on to them, because these are great books and they will only go up in value. And one other book he ended up throwing in, now I didn't order this, but he threw it in, was Captain America 293. You've got Nomad. These were some interesting Cap stories. I own all of these. I was collecting Cap left and right back in the day. This is right after Mike Zeck had left the title, so I was a little jaded. I didn't really like the art. I didn't like the storylines at the time, but you've got a Nomad appearance, and it's a free comic, so you can't go wrong with that. But that's it for the books. I hope you enjoyed all of these today. Let me know what you think about these books by leaving me a comment in the comment section. Alright guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a lot shorter than normal, so I hope you enjoyed that part especially. Join me on Friday as we go over some more comics I've been picking up from some other sources like Heritage Auctions and eBay. And I actually went to another comic book show, so I picked up a couple more books there. We'll go over that haul on Friday. Hope you will join me then, 10 a.m. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the show, because I go live so I can talk to everybody who's on the show live with me at that time. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And remember, every comic has a story.